Hey everybody, so how's it going? Welcome back to Texteen. Texteen, yeah. That'll be my, teenager. Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to Texteen, your least favorite tech channel. So, today we're going to be putting together the test bench. Like, the actual computer. Yeah, anyway. Alright, so now I'm going to explain to you what parts I'm going to be using and why I'm going to be using them. Most of which will be because they were either really cheap or a good deal, as can be expected. So, first off, we're going to start with our CPU. Oh, for Christ's sakes. Okay, anyway, we've got the Core i3-6100. So, I was actually angling for the Pentium G4400, but this was included in some sort of bundle deal type thing with this. And so, altogether, this ended up at a price of around $20 when it used to be $45 or $55, which is great. And this was $130, and it went down to about $70. So I ended up saving money somehow. So yeah, Core i3-6100, decent performance. You're not really going to need much more for your kind of standard, medium to high graphics. Well, not really going to affect the graphics as much, but it'll run solitaire decently, if you're in the market for 2 FPS. Anyway, next up we've got our motherboard, the Asus H110M-A M.2. Yeah. So this is the one that costs $20, which is a great deal because it's got M.2 PCIe SSD. There's a bunch of cool features on here. You get 3 PCIe slots. You get a D-sub port, whatever the heck that is. And yeah, it's pretty good. And funny story about this is actually when I went to the store to get this, it was on Black Friday, and I said to the guy, bring me an H110MA. I was thinking of the Gigabyte one. Instead, he brought me the Asus one because they have literally the same name. Good job, guys. Not realizing this was from Asus, I looked at the price tag and I figured, wow, it was so much cheaper on Newegg, right? Wink. So I showed my phone to the guy. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Can you price match it? He's like, yeah. So he goes and he price matches it. But he price matches the Asus one to the Gigabyte one. Now, it ended up not mattering because the price match was not included when we did the deal with this and my CPU, but there you go. Incompetence at its finest. Now, next up, let's go with our CPU cooler. We have the CryoRig H7. So this was pretty cheap. It was like a few dollars more than a Hyper 212 Evo would have been, and it's so much easier to attach and mount, and it's got better performance. So I figured I might as well go with it. Not much of a story behind that one, I'm afraid. Next up, let's do RAM. So these are 2 sticks of Crucial Ballistics Sport LT. Pretty decent RAM, It's got the nice heat sinks. It's got the black PCB. 8 gigs altogether, 2 4-gig sticks. So we're gonna run them in dual channel. Let's see, 2400 megahertz. So yeah, pretty decent. Nothing special, but looks pretty nice. So who's gonna complain? So here we've got our SSD. I'm not going to be putting a hard drive in this one, just an SSD. I don't really need a hard drive, honestly. And this is a fine SSD all on its own. We've got the 120 gig SSD. It's the PNY CS1311. So yeah. And then nearing last, we've got our EVGA 450B. Now this, oh my God. Was this a good deal? Normally it's around $50, but it ended up being around the same price as my motherboard, around $20. No, it was less. It was $15, all because of the $35 rebate on this thing during Black Friday. I mean, I guess EVGA just really wanted to get rid of them. You know, it's almost like, you know, they've got low wattage and, you know, a low rating or something. You know, like people don't really want them because, you know, they've got the ugly cables. Alrighty then. Okay. Oh boy. So, next to last and certainly not least, we've got our Radeon RX 460 2 gig. So this thing was pretty cheap as well. We got a deal of down to 110 and then a rebate which brought it down to around 70, which is $40 of rebate. Yeah, these things are pretty good. I had to cut this corner out so that I could send in the sticker to get the rebate. But apart from that, the package is pretty immaculate and it looks pretty cool. So yeah. You know, it's not the best graphics card on the market, but you'll get some pretty good medium gaming on the, you know, Battlefield 1 even medium settings. You know, who needs anything else? At this price point, the odds of you having a 4K display are low. Alright, and last, we've got our DIY PC Alpha DB6, you know, as in the Aston Martin DB6. Sure, alrighty then. And there we have it. That's the last of our parts. Join me as I build them, or don't, because, I mean, why the hell would you? You know, it's not like it's going to be interesting. So this is what the end product looks like over here. Over here, CPU cooler, graphics card. It ended up having a pretty consistent aesthetic, even though I wasn't really trying to go for that. You've got the orange over here, and you know, it kind of fits in with the gold. Not really, but meh. Anyway, that orange, you got this orange over here, this orange, which... So, a few things to note. I did end up cutting off the sleeving that comes on these cables. I just think it looks a lot nicer. You know, I do get the ketchup and mustard aesthetic, but not really suffering from it too much. I did a whole crap load of cable management. You've got zip ties out the wazoo. I don't really care too much. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the aesthetic you know, a little black ring around each of your cable's lens, but you know, if I had black sleeved cables, then I wouldn't have to care. So other than that, a few side notes. Well, there were a lot of leftover cables from the PSU. So, as you can see, they're all just bunched up down here. Yeah, it looks pretty bad, but I don't care. So, yeah. Another thing. This fan came at a wonky angle. So, I'm guessing this clip right down here is one fin too low. So yeah, not really going to affect much of anything, but you know. Also, these stands, these are garbage. This does not fit in anywhere. I mean, it's basically useless. Down here, there was apparently no space for a 2.5-inch drive, so I taped it. Taped it to the underside of the computer. Yeah, isn't that great? Alright, let's see, what else? So yeah, other than that, it really doesn't look all that bad, you know? Got the silver here, black, 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 silver, black, black, silver. A lot of black and silver, in case you hadn't noticed. Yeah. So, conclusion time. Is this a PC that's going to be running Battlefield 1 at 4K 60 FPS? No. The answer is no. I don't know if you could get it to run Battlefield 1 at 1080p 30 FPS with low settings. But you know what? It's not for the type of person who's, you know, competitively playing Battlefield 1. If you want to competitively play Battlefield 1, then I don't know what's wrong with you. This is not for that. This is a budget build. You don't really want to play the, you know, top end of games, but you want to build a computer and you want to play some games. You want to play, I don't know. You want to play some small games, you know, not that great graphics, but they're fun, you know, maybe even 2D platformers. You don't need $1,000 to play a 2D platformer. And this is going to get the job done. And now I've lost my train of thought. So, you know, you don't want to buy some stupid laptop with some crappy display. You want to build your own computer. You want to have that whole experience. This is the computer to do it with. Alright, so, that's it. Who is this computer for? It's for you. Okay, so that's the conclusion. Like if you liked this video, like if you disliked this video, and subscribe to see more awful videos like this one. I'm Tech Teen, and you can leave now.